Welcome one, welcome all to Screen Weens. We're Christians now.
And we're asking the age-old question. If my pee-pee don't work, can I get mad at my wife?
That is the age-old question.
Can you skate on ice if there's a fire from a homeless man next to it?
Can you...
Should you trust your doctor over God?
Can you sleep with your doctor if you... Or wait, no. Not
Can you sleep with your dad?
Yeah, can you sleep with your dad? I meant to say daughter, but I said doctor instead.
Your doctor daughter?
Your doctor daughter.
Can you steal your daughter's daughter?
Stamp gangsters.
Stamp gangsters. They're around us. Be warned.
Yeah,
Look out the window.
Yeah, that last...
If you see someone, there's a 30% chance they're going to steal your stamps.
Yeah. That last one had a bit of Uncut Gem energy.
Yeah.
Like, not quite the level of chaos,
yeah.
but like
the same level of, like, black comedy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Uncut Gems is, like, deeply, like, cringe-inducing.
Yeah.
But it's also funny.
Yeah, of what I've seen of the Safdie brothers, I think that one might be my favorite. I think it's a better balance than the other one.
I think Good Time's, like, more just a bad time.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems has, like, a comedic flair to it.
And I haven't seen Only God Knows or Only Heaven Knows or whatever that first one they did was.
Yeah. They've done a bunch of, like, random, like, indies that didn't really...
I take it back. Goldman's my favorite.
Goldman.
Yeah.
I started watching the, because they did The Curse with Nathan Fielder, right? I started watching that show.
I don't know.
It's Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone.
Oh.
I started watching it and I was enjoying it, and then we just never finished it.
I thought it was
it was a show.
Oh. I don't know. That comes from my my post movie era, where I dropped off.
You're like, I do not like movies anymore.
I don't watch things.
I only read One Piece. Oh, I'm like 14 chapters behind right now.
Oh,
I like keep just going out for like 2 months. And then coming back and be like, what?
Honestly, I wasn't sure if you had even read any of Egghead yet.
Yeah, I'm on. Let's check real quick. Where's London at?
Yeah, because this current arc's really good.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it.
It's like, oh, jeez.
Last one I read was in September. Wow, it's been 4 months. It was 11/26. So, I mean, that's only 13 behind. I'm not like super. That's like a little. That's like an hour and a half of reading. You know,
it's like a volume. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like
a little more. But yeah,
I can't just do chapter to chapter. I'm just like I can't. Especially because I'm not like all my friends that like One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of them are like caught up. Like so, I'm like cool.
No.
I don't have anyone to talk to about. Like every time I read a new chapter, I'm like, oh, I gotta get on the subreddit. I'm like, I don't care.
No, I mean, I'll glance at the subreddit. I'll see if any blatant thing gets to the top of the thread that I might have missed. But yeah, this is just kind of I read it. I go ooh in my bedroom, and then it's like, to be fair, it's not really a week to week experience. It's like 1 week on. Maybe 2 weeks on, a week off. It happens like that a lot. Although we did just get a 4-chapter stint.
Whoa.
I don't think that's happened.
He's old.
In a long time.
He's not old.
I mean, he's old in manga.
Yeah, he's old for doing that amount of work every week.
Yeah, and I low key, honestly, very fearful about it, but we don't have to dive into my fears on that.
It's fine. You can go watch live action.
Yeah, the live action. I rewatched that like 2 weeks ago.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. Mostly good. I got a lot of small issues with it, but overall I enjoy it, and I hope that they improve on the small issues going forward.
Yeah. Like, why doesn't Buggy have his iconic skateboard?
It's true. No, there's
where's the guy that sits in the treasure chest?
My biggest complaint is, what the fuck? Why no Usopp? Little to no Usopp.
True.
He
needs to be the main character of season 2.
They should.
He's the main character of One Piece.
They should.
He should be.
They should at least give him, I don't know, a good plot thread that actually.
They were too busy making Buggy too hot.
They were too busy given Syrup Village to Kaya for some reason. Like, she got all the character focus in that, and it's like, I get it, but Usopp is the Straw Hat. You want me? It's supposed to develop him. Develop Kaya through him.
Yeah.
There's too many characters in One Piece to be doing shit like that. That's like post-time skip complaints. But anyway. Off the One Piece. Because I can talk about One Piece for days.
Well, we got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, we got Dekalog.
We got Dekalog.
I mean, I guess before we dive into Dekalog, is there anything that you watched that you want to talk about?
Oh, I saw the new Marvel!
Oh, the Captain America movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite bad. Hinatea and Pierre and Joe all liked it, but
yeah, I'm so fucking far behind.
Yeah, I haven't watched the last two shows, and I was like keeping up with the shows. I don't know why I disliked most of them, but
yeah,
I didn't watch Agatha or Echo.
Oh yeah, I heard people were liking that Agatha show.
Yeah, but people were liking WandaVision, and I also really didn't like WandaVision.
True. So. Yeah, I just try to. I'm like. Most of the time, I feel like I hear mostly negativity towards Marvel nowadays, and then every so often.
You're so lucky. I work in a comic shop.
Well, yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, the new Marvel!
Oh yeah!
Wow!
Yeah!
Like, oh!" And they'll ask us. Everybody, like the regulars, know I really like movies, so they'll be like, "Yeah, I really like Deadpool and Wolverine. What'd you think?" And I'm like, yeah, just I'm glad people have fun. I've been going with that one. I'm like, I'm glad people like it.
I still haven't seen it.
I'm just like, wasn't quite for me.
Yeah. Low key, I'll probably check out the Fantastic Four because I
think the trailer looks decent. He's really excited for Joseph Quinn in it.
Who?
Joseph Quinn. He plays Eddie Munson in season 4 of Stranger Things. That really pushed him. He's been in a bunch of stuff. That's fine. He's very, very popular as a character. And that actor's just like really popular now. He's in like Gladiator 2. He's in Fantastic Four. He's playing Human Torch.
Oh, okay.
But I like the main 4 cast. I like I can't remember the guy. Ralph Ineson, I think. The guy who's voicing Galactus.
Oh,
it's like the dad from The Witch.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's just got like this great booming voice. I'm like, that's a great cast.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So I'll try it. And
yeah, I'll check it out. Mainly because to my understanding, it takes place in a different universe. I'm sure it's gonna cross over at the fucking very end.
Yeah.
Or
like, oh no, we fell into the toilet.
But I'll check it out. I might eventually, when the new big event happens, I might go through. I might not. Yeah. I don't know. I'll wait. I'll vibe it out because I've always had the stance of I'm always gonna go see the Spider-Man movies, but even now I'm like,
do I care? Yeah,
I don't really care. Yeah. Like I'll go see Spider-Verse, and then I'll probably see the one, and then I don't know. It depends because what the fuck's even happening with that? Didn't they like get new directors or something? Like it's like, is it even gonna be good?
I don't know. It's like, it feels like people are the blockbuster is about to implode. It feels like.
Yeah.
Well, no. The other thing is there are things that'll just make $1 trillion. Like there's the new Nezha is a Chinese film based on like mythology. The first one like made a bunch of money. The second one made over $1 billion in just China, which is an insane number. Yeah. Like it's looking like it's going to be the most successful like animated movie of all time. Huh. Which I'm like, at least it's like an animated movie because the current most successful animated movie is, I believe, the live action Lion King. But they still count it as animated. I'm like, you can't do that. It can't be both ways.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And it looks cool. I've heard it's sick. I want to watch it, and I like foreign films. So
yeah, I don't think I've seen fucking the thing about it. But
I see a bunch of racism online now. It's like it can't be good. It's just Chinese propaganda. I'm like, there's 1 billion people in China.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking count apples and oranges, but I'm not gonna pretend like China
saw the new Marvel movie.
Depths and bounds worse than we are at this point in time. It's like,
and it's the same thing. It's like how much, I'm not saying that China is a perfect country, but like
No.
how much of our information is propaganda? Like we are opposed to like as a country, the U.S. and China have not got along in a very, very, very long time,
Yeah,
if ever.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm sure there was probably a point where it was somewhat chill,
But it's just like we're two of the world's biggest superpowers, and it's just like,
there is no chill amongst the superpowers.
and then all I see is like, can't be good. It's Chinese. It's like the communists are putting it together. I'm like, it's not even, what the hell?
Communist China.
Ugh. But speaking of communists, no.
Yeah. Anyway,
what
next
else?
time on Read Weens,
Yeah.
reading the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything notable? I did watch. Yeah, I speed run because we talked too much about this last time. Let's see. What did I watch that I really liked? Had I talked about Better Man yet? The monkey movie.
I don't remember.
Robbie Williams, famous UK pop star, doesn't have any foothold in America at all. He got a monkey movie. He got a biopic where he's played by a CGI monkey.
I know what movie you're talking about. I don't remember if you talked about it.
Anyway, it's incredible.
Okay.
Absolutely wonderful. I loved it. I was completely shocked because it was by the director of like The Greatest Showman, and I was just like, this will be fine. This will be funny. And it was amazing. I watched new Wolfman movie.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
I liked it. A lot of people didn't. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. I was hesitant when I saw the trailer, but not because I thought like the movie itself looked bad. It just I don't necessarily want all of the new Universal monster movies to have the tone of like The Invisible Man, where it's like that weird, like kind of almost like a sci-fi feel to all of them, or like at least the way they're shot. I don't know. It's just a vibe thing, but I'll watch it eventually.
I watched a new Steven Soderbergh movie, Presence, which is a ghost story, filmed from the point of view of the ghost. It was really sad.
Yeah.
Like a ghost story, except the camera is the ghost.
Yeah, makes sense.
Really sad. Really enjoyed it. Let's see. Watched Dario Argento's first movie, Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Yeah.
I loved it. Thought it was great.
I've never watched it, but
I think Dario Argento, it just seems like he had a 20-year run that they were all bangers.
To my, I was listening to a podcast that was examining that question. They theorized because they looked at who did like a lot of, I forget what specific. I think they did the lighting or the color grading to his movie. It was like the person he was married to, and then he got divorced, and then all of his movies started looking like dog shit. It's like, So I need to look into
I still want to watch the new one he did like a couple of years. He did one like 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll need to look into that thread more. That way I can credit the person properly. But yeah.
Dark Glasses he did 2022. And I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
I watched The Fall by Tarsem Singh. I don't know if you've ever heard of that movie. It's with Lee Pace. It's from 2006.
I don't know.
It's one of the most visually, like, of the 21st century, one of the most visually stunning movies I've seen. Just every shot's insane. Lee Pace plays like a silent film actor, or maybe like a silent film like stuntman. And he gets wounded, and he might have wounded, but he also might have been trying to kill himself. Because like his girlfriend left him for like the main guy in the actual movie. But he's like stuck in a hospital, and he's telling a girl like a made up story. But like the lines between fiction and reality are kind of blurring. It's wonderful. Really, really cool.
Sounds like it's kind of got some like big fish kind of energy.
Yeah, like absolutely.
Okay.
And then I watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time.
Yes.
That movie's incredible.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I haven't watched it in probably like 15 plus years.
It was so fun.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Great practical effects.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like John Carpenter. I think that's probably like my third favorite Carpenter. Like it's probably, I think I might like In the Mouth of Madness more than The Thing, but they're pretty neck and neck. And then Big Trouble in Little China, and it's so vastly different from those two.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those were the good things. I watched Paddington 3. That was okay, unfortunately. Yeah. I liked it, but the director was gone. Sally Hawkins isn't in it, who played... Yeah. Well, she got recasted, because I think she had, like... I think she was pregnant or something. She couldn't travel, so she couldn't film on site in Peru. And I'm like, just write her off. Just put it out in the movie. It's like, you can't go.
Just postpone the movie.
Because literally, like, it's... Or maybe she has, like, a medical issue. I can't remember. I remember reading about it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the person they recasted her, it just doesn't have the same vibe at all. And they still make it, like, a pretty Sally Hawkins... Or Mary Brown, like, centric role. Mm-hmm. Like, the movie still centers a lot around her. I'm like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But it was still fun.
Maybe I'll watch it without rewatching the first two, because I haven't watched them in, like, a good while. Yeah.
That's probably your best bet.
And then I'll go back afterwards.
And you'll be like, man, this lady's awesome!
Yeah. But
Antonio Banderas is in the new one. He's fun in it.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies that are not fun, we should probably talk about Dekalog.
Yeah, we should probably get into
by Krzysztof Kieślowski. That's probably how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know.
Krzysztof Kieślowski. Let's go with that. So Dekalog was a Polish miniseries that came out in the late 80s. I was reading about this. 88 is when it came out. And they're all 1-hour films, each one taking thematic ties to one of the Ten Commandments. Mm-hmm. And they all center around usually a moral or ethical dilemma, and they all reside in a specific housing project in Poland. So maybe not the same apartment building, but like pretty much the same block. Everything's like encompasses. I don't think the jump in differences in tone are as noticeable as like 10 and everything else.
Yeah.
But I do think all of them do have their own tone, their own like flair, their own, like it almost feels like someone else is directing each one, and I'm like, this guy just did them all.
I never got that vibe, but it definitely felt like, because they all had like that similar like finish to them, but it definitely felt like he wanted each one of them to kind of have their own vibes, minus still kind of falling under the Dekalog banner. But
sorry, I'm reading the Vatican was like, yep, Dekalog's amazing. You should watch. Like, there's no fucking way you got that. I love Dekalog to say, but I'm just like, doesn't it is one of 15 films listed in the category values on the Vatican film list.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
There's 45 movies divided into 3 categories: religion, values, and art. Weird. And then also, I didn't know this, but 1991, Stanley Kubrick wrote an admiring foreword to the published screenplay of Dekalog, wherein Dekalog is the only masterpiece he could think of. Just the only one.
Shit, that's high praise. A lot of people really deify Kubrick, so that's gotta fucking be like the ultimate stamp of approval.
I love, like, when I think about, like, Kubrick bros or Tarantino bros, you know, the guys that only watch their movies, and then I'm just like, Kubrick and Tarantino and all these people are so well, like, watched and read, and they, like, engage with art from all around the world, and they're like, yeah, I only watch Kubrick. They just don't watch any foreign movies. I'm like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah.
How do you get any understanding of art? Because, like, the more we watch, the more we engage with other art, the more we're better able to engage with this. Like, Dekalog, for example, if I was well read in the Bible, I'm sure I would get more out of a lot of the, like...
Yeah, probably.
And it's not to say, like, I felt like I got a lot out of it. I felt like maybe I should have taken a little longer to watch all 10 of these. Maybe watched one a day and really sat on it. Because for being an hour long each, I think pretty much all of them are so dense in what they're talking about. Even the last one, which was mostly a black comedy, like, it has a lot to say. It's just like, now I'm like, oh god, I gotta think about this as I'm talking, so by the time we get to 10, I can say what I actually feel about it.
Mm-hmm. And not only is it, like, you know, the philosophy and the themes underneath, but, like, you also gotta take into account, like, I was telling you this when we were watching them, but, like, they all kind of, like, not all of them, but there's a fair few of them that, like, will, like, kind of have, like, reveals as, like, the episode progresses, and they won't feed you all the information up front, so you gotta, like, keep track of that. Like, I remember episode 8, I kept, like, rewinding back. I'm like, I feel like I missed something.
8, I think, was on Letterboxd, which is not... 8 was the one where...
It's the professor with the Holocaust.
Okay, yeah. 8 is the lowest rated of all of them on Letterboxd, which I think it might just be because it's all dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I also felt like, well, I'm out of my depth with this. Like, I almost felt like I need to, like, rewatch this one specifically, because I just feel like, but thinking back on it, I don't know. I can't tell if it was my least favorite or my favorite. Like, it's just so... Yeah. There's so much to that one.
Yeah, I really like a lot of these.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I really like all of them. I think I love one of them, but I don't know. I just thought it was all really consistent.
Yeah, I also
even the ones that maybe thematically I didn't engage with as much. I think all of them look great.
I'd say that there's
even the one with the piss filter.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one that I'd probably say that I thought was kind of meh. But the rest of them I thought were pretty good. Pretty good to great.
This, just a quick thing. Krzysztof Kieślowski, the guy who made this, he did it in collaboration with Krzysztof Pissowisk. No, his name cannot be Pissowisk.
Why not?
Pissowisk.
I prefer Pissowisk.
Pissowisk. He did a bunch of collaborations with him, not just in Dekalog. But then he went on to just be like part of the Polish Senate. Oh. And then he was the head of the social movement party there. So, and then the filmmaker was interested in a philosophical challenge, and then wanted to use the series as a portrait for, like, the hardships of Polish society, especially, like, post-World War II. Because obviously this was 20 years, or 40 years after World War II, but, like, those kind of ramifications don't leave after 10, 20 years. They're there for 100 years.
Yeah. Until everyone then just, like, forgets or doesn't give a shit, and then it just starts happening again, apparently.
Oh, maybe this is the vibe I got from it, because originally he meant to hire 10 different directors. So maybe he wanted them all to feel different, and then he just ended up directing them all himself. He also used a different cinematographer for each one, so that might be it as well. Except for 3 and 9, which are filmed by the same guy.
The only one that really stuck out to me is
5.
Yeah.
The piss filter.
Yes.
Which I think works. I think we need to get to that point.
Yes.
But, like, when it started, I was like...
Yeah.
Am I watching Pitch Black starring Vin Diesel?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, God. It's like the fucking, like, Terrifier thing where it's like they just, like, add that weird, shitty, gritty filter. It's like, ugh. But, yeah. But, yeah, I guess, should I go down the list of the commandments?
Sure. Do you want to just start with each episode and say which one they're about, or do you want to read the commandments for us? We're gonna have a Bible lesson from Thomas. You've been to church.
Yeah, a few times.
You know more about the Bible than me.
Yeah, perhaps.
Why did the bush catch on fire?
Okay, I'm not that well versed, but I know like some Bible stories. I was notorious for daydreaming in classes, especially on
You went to
Sundays.
Bible school?
I didn't go to Bible school, but like I was notorious for daydreaming in classes. So when I went to church on
this
Sunday,
is like extra class.
yeah, it's like you think I'm paying attention there. No, I'm there to like
La 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 la.
I don't know. It was a weird thing because I didn't go at a young age. I was like 10 when I started going to church because like my religious grandmother like needed to like emergency babysit me one time. I probably wasn't 10. I was younger than that, but like probably like, I guess maybe like 7, 8. And then I went to church with her one time and hung out in the Sunday school. I was like, that was kind of cool. Sure, I'll go to church. And then I did that for a couple of years. And I was like, once I got to like, all right, you're moving up to the the middle school, high school room. It's a lot cooler in there. And it's like, I get in there and it's like, I can't do this anymore. This ain't me. I left. Yeah, I wouldn't have flourished. I wouldn't have gone full bloom in there. Anyway. The 10 Commandments. Not verbatim. They're a little weird. Some of them are the same. And different in different versions. So.
Yeah, I was like, Wikipedia 10 Commandments. I'm like, why? Why are there 5 different ones? Why are these saying this is number 1, these are number 2, but this one's saying this is number 1? Like, what's happening?
So basically, there's 9 commandments. There's less if you... George Carlin has a famous bit where he like chops them down to like 2 or 3 when he logics them out. But basically, the first one is don't worship any other gods. Some variations have the second one being like the false idol thing. It's like don't fucking... I forget the specific wording of it, but it's like, yeah,
don't fucking go to the other guy.
Don't like create God in like objects, essentially. And it's like, all right, so no false idols, essentially. Don't take his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and thy mother. Don't kill. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't bear false witness or lie. And don't covet thy neighbor's house, or don't covet thy neighbor's wife. Or those are 2 or 1.
Yeah, it seems like there were 2 in this, because I think it was don't covet thy neighbor's wife, and then the last one is just don't covet. I was like, what?
Your neighbor... Yeah, because there's no house. I mean, to be
just
fair...
don't be greedy is pretty much what...
There is, like, the third one, which is, like, also, like, don't covet thy neighbors. I don't...
Good?
I think it's meant to go into property, but it's the literal first line is slaves, so it's like... Yeah, but, it's like... Don't covet thy neighbor, essentially. That's what it all boils down to. But I guess you can get into the specific... breaking it down into different subcategories, but... Yeah, so... And... Yeah, so... I guess the skates one is don't... I don't see the false idol. Is it the computer? Is that what the...
Yeah, it's science. It's
science.
Well, don't worry, I have the Wikipedia page up.
Okay.
They do tell me, which I got most of them.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, wait a minute, I don't fucking know. I don't know the commandments.
Yeah.
I'm living this life of sin.
I know. I was telling my roommate, it's like, if this is like the 7 deadly sins, I'd know. I got those down.
I'd be like, I've seen Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I don't have the fucking 10 Commandments memorized. Fuck that shit. I don't follow rules.
I'm going to stop the recording for a moment.
Check.
We're going to check it because we're about to dig deep into Krzysztof Kieślowski and Dekalog. We'll be right back. And we are back. Dekalog.
Yes. Anyway.
All right. Episode 1.
The Skates. I gave them all titles.
The Skates.
I just gave them all the blank titles.
Here's the commandment. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. And the ideal is the sanctity of God and worship. And the Kieślowskian theme is idolization of science.
Yeah.
That did our work for us. Anyway, episode 2. No, I'm just
idolization of how does that play into the? Because it's like, oh, it just at a standstill, like, or am I misunderstanding idolization?
Like that's the main character, the professor, the dad.
Yeah. In
his mind, his god is science.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the idol. No shit. I was thinking idle as in like a car being idle.
No.
I was like,
yeah, the science isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's why I was confused for a second. All right, I'm not already sundowning. Don't mind me. I'm not an old man.
I believe in you.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, this is about a computer dad with a precocious young boy. Mom died or ran off. She's not dead. She like lives downtown, right? We see her in that one scene.
No, we don't. She lives in another country.
Oh, she lives in.
Yeah, because he has the computer program, that he tells his aunt, because the main like 3 players in this are the son, the aunt, and the father.
Yes.
He can just say, "What's mom doing right now?" and he'll say, "What's she doing?" Mm-hmm. Early on, it's like science can't do everything because he's like, what's she dreaming about?
Yeah, like, it doesn't have that information. Yeah. Makes sense. But yeah, basically, this boy, these are all like, I don't know. I feel like this one's like the most like hard to explain because it's very simple. It's just kind of like, it's very slice of life until it's not.
So this boy, he's like a smart, his dad was like a genius, his dad's a professor, his dad's really smart with science and stuff, and the son seems to be following in those same footsteps. He has a bunch of little science stuff. He's like, look, I can make the computer turn on the water and stuff, and it's like, he's like, yes, science, and his dad's talking about science all day long at the like, they really hammer in how much they love science.
Yeah, but basically, the whole thing kind of amounts to the kid gets some ice skates for Christmas or whatever. It's coming up, or whatever holiday they're celebrating. I don't remember. But he's like, can I go out and skate on the ice? And they're like, well, let's do some scientific calculations and figure out if it's safe. And they do that, and it's like, all right, it should be safe. And then the dad even goes out and like kind of checks on the ice. But while he's there, there's a homeless guy with a fire burning, which he doesn't take into account, which I think is what is implied to have happened. But yeah, basically the next day the kid goes ice skating and falls through the ice and drowns.
And the dad's like wandering around town looking for his son, because at first he's like, nothing bad happened. I don't want to over exaggerate. He's probably at school, or he's at his after school lessons or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he like runs down because everyone in this apartment complex, like everyone in town, seems to be gathered around this frozen pond. Also, just because I remembered, fuck that lady. Oh my god, the mom who like also had the missing son, but the second he showed up, she's like, all right, we're not going to talk to the other dad at all. We're sprinting, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, wow. I don't even have words. That's just fucked up. Like, I was just like fucking reeling on my couch at home. It's like, you felt the way he feels right now, like 30 seconds ago. You were gracious enough to be given another chance. Like, Jesus Christ. Come on. Have a little fucking sympathy for the guy. Anyway. It's not like he was a scumbag or anything.
Yeah. He just made a mistake.
He was just cocky. He was this shitty atheist. We've all been there.
But like, even then it's like, he checked. Like, he went out and he didn't like go, yep, he's like, I went and I checked too.
Yeah.
Like, he did what he thought was right.
Yeah, the second he realized something was up, he's like, all right, yeah, let me check it out further.
Yeah.
Went out, checked the ice. Yeah, it was... Yeah, but then... Yeah, they pull his son out of there, and...
There's a shot, like, where you all see them all. And I think that, in general, the framing of this movie's, like, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how most of the shots are framed.
Yeah.
But, like, they're all standing there, and as the son's pulled out, everyone... and then you see everyone else start to kneel, and he's just standing there, and he's the only one still standing. It was like, oh, it, like, really hit me like a... Like, oh, God!
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it. It's just like, oh, man. Yeah, I think only one of these made me tear up. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to remember which one it was, though.
This one probably hit me the hardest, and I think this is probably my favorite, because I really like the overall ambiance and vibe of this one. Like, it's like a slice of life, but at the same time, every scene was kind of just filling me with dread.
Yeah, because you know something's up.
Yeah.
Because you see the boy in the milk commercial on the news or whatever at first, and you see the aunt crying. So the whole time, if you're paying attention, you know that kid's gonna fucking die. And I kept seeing the God avatar, which is what I'm calling him. He might represent something else, perhaps, but I assume he's meant to represent God. But the guy who shows up in like most of these, he's the opening shot of Dekalog. It's just this fucking homeless guy with like this 1,000-yard stare just on the ice. And he's the guy who's there when the dad like goes to check the ice later. But the whole time I'm like, because I thought him and the kid both had like the same color eyes, like, which I thought were very striking. It just turns out I think it's just a common thing over there but, as the episodes went along. But for that entire first episode, I'm like, is this supposed to be like that kid growing up? Like, is this like him reflecting on his past life as he's just like homeless now? Like, what's going on? And then you saw him with the dad. It's like, okay, something's up. Yeah, you get into it.
Yeah, I think the other thing about this is, like, maybe I would feel different about this one rewatching it, but there's a real air of mystery going into something like this miniseries, because I'm like, I have no idea what this miniseries is going to feel like.
Yeah.
So, like, anything could happen. I'm like, yeah, this feels scary because it's unknown, and it's introducing this unknown world to you. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was especially like that, because I forgot the little synopsis you told me where they each follow the 10 Commandments. So I was just like, what are like the threads going to be between all of this? And I'm just like watching them. It's like,
I don't get it.
I'm like, these are definitely interesting in a similar vibe, but I wonder what, like, yeah, I was, then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, Dekalog is Polish for 10 Commandments, by the way.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. What it
or
meant.
Something like that.
But I ended up trying to look up and see if like the films had individual titles that I just wasn't getting subtitles for, and I was just like, nope. Dekalog
Episode 1.
Yeah. Dekalog I, Dekalog II, Dekalog III. And it's like, well, that's gonna make these hard to. If I want to just rewatch a particular one in the future, I'll just title them on my computer differently. But yeah,
yeah, I think this one's really interesting. I think that what you said earlier about the fire being like, oh, this is the reason it happened. I think that's like, there's that, but there's also like the uncertainty of just like anything can happen.
Well,
like,
yeah, there's so many random variables in the world, the universe. You can never properly calculate all of them to an exact T, It's we're not at that point.
Which is crazy to me because it's like, yeah, you can't trust in anyone but God. And when I think about that, I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Why would I trust that guy either? But like, more power to him. But
I think George Carlin, when he does his bit, he's like, when it gets to like the fifth one, it's like, thou shalt not kill. He's like, well, I'm just going to toss that one because the Bible, they kill all the time in the Bible. People kill over the Bible. Fuck it. It's not a sin. This is like, all right. So yeah, why would you trust God? The guy's an asshole.
Yeah, but that's coming from the idea that I'm like, I don't believe in this guy. I don't believe that he's all.
Yeah.
I also have to try to get into the mindset of least a pseudo-religious person.
Yeah. No, I feel it. Yeah, because I'm definitely of the ilk where it's like, even if I did believe in God, I'd be one of those people that's like, the fuck, dude?
Hey, man! Not cool!
Yeah. It's like, you're the good guy? I'd hate to see the bad guy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it also is, as much as like this is in the Vatican's films, it also seems like the tone of these movies are like, yeah, these are sins, but they're also just like pick and choose. Like, I'm just gonna punish you because like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's because it's the Vatican, so they're Catholic.
Yeah,
they like their self-pity kind of compared to the other denominations, but yeah. So the next one I called are we individually rating these? Are we just rating the project as a whole?
Up to you. I have individual ratings, but it is like a whole project.
I don't have individual ratings, but I could probably come up with.
That's fine. We don't have to. We'll just do the whole thing, and then we can maybe say what our favorite episodes and what your least favorite one was.
Let's go with that. All right. The Doctor is what I titled the next one. The Doctor. So, yeah, this one, there's a doctor.
I have to say what they are.
Oh, yeah,
The commandment.
Yes.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. The ideal, the sanctity of speech. The Kieślowskian theme. Names is fundamental to identity and moral choice. The importance of one's word in human life. Think on that while you'd say.
Okay.
So the doctor, he's an old man.
Yeah.
Has no friends. Only solace is his housekeeper that he tells stories to.
Mm-hmm.
One day, one of his neighbors comes up to him and is like, I have a dilemma. She explains that he's treating her husband, who has, I don't know what he has. Some sort of, I don't even know if they say it. Some sort of unnamed illness where he's...
It's progressing. Like, they take the blood samples and they see that it's getting worse, but they're not sure.
He's, like, actively dying from what they can see.
Yeah.
But she reveals that she's been cheating on him with a new lover. And she was, I think, originally planning on leaving him anyway. To be with this lover. But he is now dying. She is pregnant with the new lover's baby, and she has no idea what to do. Mm-hmm. So she says, okay, it's up to you. I'm putting this baby's life in your hands. I'm going to get an abortion and stay with my husband if he lives. If he dies, I'm going to keep the baby and go off to my new life. And the doctor's like, well, I can't possibly tell you if he's going to live or die because I don't know yet. And also, that's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's like, what? First you run over my dog, now you give me this moral conundrum.
Oh yeah, she'd run over his dog, who was...
The introduction between the two, she knocks on his door and she's like, do you remember me? He's like, yeah, you ran over my dog like a year ago. She's like, can you tell me about my husband? Is he gonna die? I need to know. He's like, I don't know. And she gets really mad. But yeah. So eventually he's just like, all right. So he just kind of like sees that it's progressing and just kind of like hedges his bets and is like, all right, well, I gotta save this kid. Like, this is fucked. So he just tells her, he's like, yeah, he's gonna die. Yeah. And then miraculously, he doesn't.
She like walks out and then the next scene is him waking up.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, and then I guess she has the kid and stays with the guy.
We don't know if she stays with him. I don't think.
Well, because he comes in and he announces that they're having a child.
Oh, that's right.
So
she might have just lied to him. Said it's ours.
It's out. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure that was.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's just really understanding. He's like, yeah, that's fine.
Sure. I was on my deathbed. Are we still together though? Like, I can be my kid. Okay, sure. Why not? Just don't do it again. Or I'll have to get on a bicycle or something. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much that one. So I guess my confused face earlier is, so this is don't take the Lord's name in vain. And the idea of taking his name in vain in this is just like...
Because he swears to God that... The idea is, she keeps saying, can you swear that he... Yeah, and usually, like, swear, like, it implies, like, he's swearing to God. Like,
I see.
He's...
Okay. That's the part that... Because I guess when people swear to God, it does not register to me, because when people swear to anything, it doesn't really...
Because I think the idea is, like, the term I swear... colloquially just comes from that, like, I swear upon the Lord.
I swear.
I will succeed in thy mission.
Yes. I swear to God, I swear on my mother, I swear on this, I swear on that.
But yeah, he like chooses, he does not know, but there's also, I think, an important thing that we're missing where there's the context of, he's lost his child before. Like, he's lost his entire family. He tells a story to his housekeeper about in World War II in Poland. I think he was just out at the store or something. He said he was, like, out. He had talked to his family, and he got back, and there was just a crater where it once was, and he had lost his entire family. Mm-hmm. And the idea that, like, he does... I don't even think it's necessary, like, he wants to keep the baby alive. I think he just wants someone to be able to live. Like, this lady, if she stays... She wasn't in love with this guy anyway, so, like, yeah, cheating on someone's bad.
Yeah.
But also, staying in a loveless marriage, like, staying in a relationship you don't want to be in because you think it's morally or ethically good, is also probably not good.
Yeah.
Whether you have the moral high ground or not.
You just need to figure out the proper sequence there.
Yeah. And it's like, you already did the bad thing. Don't just be like, oh, now I must punish myself, I must atone. I'm like, no, because you still did the bad thing. Mm-hmm. Just like, at that point, cut your losses. Do what is right for you, because you've already done something wrong for someone else. So, like, because and if you just go back, you're not doing right by either person at that point. Mm-hmm. So he's swearing God, he's bearing false, whatever it is, but
no, false witness is later.
That's later. I don't know what these words mean. Yeah. But I do think this is quite interesting. I think the Doctor's a really interesting character because I don't know. I think kind of grumpy old men who still have like integrity or a good character choice. I also think the woman is a pretty interesting character. Like, she is what her words are sleazy, but there is... I wrote something down about this. Hold on. There's something she's doing with her performance that really caught my eye. I feel like every time she's looking at someone, it looks like there's like a pain in her eyes. Like, she's punished herself for all of these, and now she doesn't know what the right thing to do is. She doesn't know if she should choose her. She's not trusting in God because she's just like, I need material. I need someone here to tell me what to do. I need guidance. So I really like the performances in this, and I really like her character.
Yeah.
I also like that most of these episodes are just about like two characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. This was probably my least favorite out of all of them off the top of my head. But, yeah, I thought it was alright.
Okay. That's fine. It's about a woman, I get it.
Yeah.
And an old man. You don't like old men either.
Two demographics that I think just belong in the
We just need more young white men.
It's true. And that's why we're living in Trump's America, baby.
Hip hip hooray!
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about 3.
Yeah, the taxi.
The taxi.
That's what I call it.
Which is, remember, the Sabbath day.
Christmas?
To keep it holy.
Is that what the Sabbath day is? Christmas? I always thought the Sabbath was like
Sunday?
Well, I think it's Saturday originally, and then Christians bastardized it into being Sunday, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Sabbath day. I mean, I guess it's a day set aside for rest and worship. Christianity.
Low key, because when I was like writing these down and figuring them out, I was like trying to, because I didn't realize that the order. Because
it seems like in Eastern Christianity, it's still Saturday.
Oh,
and
okay.
in Western Christianity, it's Sunday.
Okay.
But I guess like Christmas could be considered like the ultimate Sabbath.
I guess so. Because before I realized like the order was just like 1 to 10, like they're going down the list and that variation of 1 to 10. I was like, before I realized there were different variations, I was like, are these not in order? And I thought the Sabbath one was the one with the kid on the computer because I thought they mentioned he died on Sunday. I was like, was it that he was ice skating on Sabbath?
You're not supposed to do that!
Yeah.
He's supposed to be praying!
Dude!
And the Kieślowskian theme is time designations as repositories of meaning.
Okay.
This one, I don't know if it was just like the way the dialogue was structured or like that it took place over one night, but I was just like, I love Before Sunrise.
It's like Before Sunrise if the characters were unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like...
It's Before Midnight.
Yeah.
They're pretty unhinged in that.
True. I need to rewatch those. It's been a while. But
Me too.
What's it called? Yeah, this is a pretty good one. It's about a guy who's dressed up as Santa for his family event or whatever the fuck's going on. He's got a wife.
He's got a wife, yeah. Who he cheated on.
He cheated on her a while ago. He seems to like her mostly now, but oh no, the woman he cheated on her in the past has come back around. I'm just gonna catch the meat and potatoes of their dynamic because fuck it. Basically, they had gotten together like years ago, and he was like really into her, but her like lover came back and was like basically like me or him, and she like left him, so he was super butthurt about that. But now, he's seeming like the original lover is seemingly missing.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy is like dragged on this wild goose chase with the woman he previously cheated with to go and find this person, but it's all a setup by her. Like she staged this whole thing just to spend the night with him because she thinks if she can make it to like the early morning of make it to Christmas morning with him, that things will be fine and dandy.
Yeah,
but. Yeah. So they go on a night of misadventures following
like
clues
a car
that are
chase.
intentionally... He randomly, he'll get in the car chases or he'll just randomly like drive fast. Like it's like they met drag, like they've got like a drag racing kind of thing going on that they just are like showing the remnants of. There's a scene, because the whole time it's like, she gonna like murder him? Is she gonna murder her? That's a question that's like linger, at least in my mind, the whole time. I'm just like, and there's a scene where he's like driving fast and she tries to fucking like turn the wheel and kill the two of them, but then they end up like going to the train station afterwards, and yeah, it's like, all right. Then they kind of like make it to the morning, and then it's like, all right, well, okay, I guess that's that, and.
She reveals that she had a pill in her pocket that she was going to kill herself with.
Yeah.
If it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Because she doesn't even like... What I think is so fascinating about this is she doesn't even like necessarily want to get back together with them or anything. She just wants to like feel something. Like she knows that like all those years ago, those times were important, and Christmas, the Sabbath, is also important. She wants to just feel something, feel talked to, feel known.
Mm-hmm.
For being like such weird fucked characters, I really was connecting with them here.
I think Dekalog kind of excels at that. Yeah. It has me sympathizing with scenarios and characters that it's like, like there was one where I was like getting hints of it, but it was still a little too over the fence. Where I was like, but then another one where I was like, all right, this is like the perfect balance of like just fucked up enough to be weird, but interesting to watch.
Yeah, I felt like all the characters in this, even the ones I didn't, like I said earlier, connect with as much thematically, they're so fascinating.
Yeah.
The script by the other Krzysztof, Krzysztof Piss, he really nailed it, like, because it feels like real genuine people, and I like movies just about regular people. I think that those kind of stories are really important, because art needs to reflect us as a society.
Yeah. Plus, it's nice to have just small character stories, just in general.
It's like, it's why it's frustrating. I feel like there's been a big push online, makes sense in Trump's America, for like lacking like sex scenes, or like there's almost like a Puritan aesthetic going on in a lot of like art critique.
I've seen I've seen people critiquing the younger generations for their like I remember reading like a thread about like younger audiences' reaction to like the Sloppenheimer scene or whatever. I still haven't watched Oppenheimer, but
and it's just like people are losing their ability to connect with art if there's a boob out. It's like, oh, what the. Yeah. First of all, kind of loser shit, but also
right,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like, the hell's going on?
Yeah, I feel I showed. This is just a different anecdote. I showed Gunbuster to a group of my roommate's friends recently. I'm not gonna call them out by name, but didn't even think to give a warning about like
the one scene where you see her boob for 5 seconds.
No, there's like a scene. No, that scene's fucking awesome. No, there's like a scene where it's like her and the 2 other girls, and they're like bathing in like just a bathhouse, full frontal. They're just chilling, talking. Some boys and robots outside like pass by the window, and they're like, oh, and they're like, ah. It's just a little scene, but like one of the dudes like got so uncomfortable. He was like, oh shit, and he like had to like go take a walk around.
Had to go jerk off real quick.
Without getting into specifics, does have a bit of a like doesn't like watching porn, because apparently he felt like he had a problem watching it. So it's like understandable. I didn't realize that, but it's like it is weird that it's like there is such a zeitgeist where it's like icky when it comes to that shit, or it's just the over. Because I get it, like sex conversation has definitely become a lot more nuanced in the last like 10 or so years, but
it seems weird that now we're no longer having art with it. Like, people are saying that sex scenes are,
because sex makes too large of a demographic uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's meaningless in a movie, or if it doesn't further the plot specifically. I'm like, not every scene. Like, I'm not saying that there are not egregious like sex scenes and things that don't like add anything, but like not every scene needs to add just to the plot. Like, sometimes just shooting a scene adds ambiance, adds like character. It adds a lot of emotional like elements to somebody's like relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like, what is going on with us? And it's like this, all of these, they're like, I don't think modern audiences could handle Dekalog.
I don't think modern audiences can handle probably a fraction of what we've watched on this podcast.
That's true. And it's just like, guys, we need to stop watching MCU movies.
No, I know.
It's bad.
Yeah, there's a serious cultural issue going on.
And it's not even, it's like specifically the way we make like superhero movies now too. Like, there's a certain tenderness and even sexiness to some of the old like superhero movies that is just like completely lacking.
Well, it's because it's Disney.
Yeah,
they bought everything and then they applied their squeaky clean branding to it.
Which is, but they're also like going.
I mean, it's not just that.
It's really interesting because like, as Trump is getting rid of like the DEI and like all of that stuff, Disney's like scaling back on their like inclusivity stuff. Like, they're like, oh, we don't need to do this anymore. And it's like, yeah, it's all a facade. It's just like,
it's always
they don't give a shit, and they never have.
Of course.
It's like, I'm a Disney adult. I gotta go to Disneyland every year. Every year.
I could have fucking told
I
you
gotta go
that
see Mickey.
when they were jerking themselves up. Look, we got first gay kiss and fucking.
And they say it every like 5 minutes. They say it every like 2 movies.
Yeah.
Like, look, first gay interracial kiss.
And they're always like 2 characters in the background that they can fucking snip out.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it's like, it's such a progressive job you guys are doing over there in the House of Mouse. Like,
I remember when, what was it called? There was the animated movie with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, Onward. And there's a cop in it who's like supposed to be gay because she talks about her wife in one line.
oh yeah.
And she looks like a horrible monster. And this, I remember everyone dunking on it. It's like, guys, look, Disney's first openly gay character. It's just a horrible monster. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Ah.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, this one was about, sex, and it's about, I was going to say, like, not only
which
are
one?
we're still on
taxi.
3.
The taxi.
Yeah. We're still on, like, prudes is what I was going to say. Like, the prudish idealization of society right now. God, I'm getting on my society high horse right now. But, like...
I mean, we're in society times.
People can't engage with art if it has to do with, like, adultery or, like, anything risque at all kind of thing. Like, it's like, oh, I wouldn't cheat on my partner, so I can't think about... It's like, if someone can't imagine, like, scenarios, like, in their head... I genuinely think that they're more likely to cheat on their partner if they're like, I cannot in any capacity engage with something. Yeah, because then they're just ignoring things.
Yeah, plus, I mean, understanding different points of view is like a key point to empathy. Even like me, or not me, but like even like when I try to do it, like I'll even try to empathize and play devil's advocate with like some of the worst fucking positions just because I want to understand it. And I'm not stupid, so I don't fucking
you're not
gaslight myself.
Like, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
Maybe immigrants are the problem.
Yeah. It's like, shit, I didn't think about that.
Eggs are $30. It's immigrants.
Yeah.
Immigrants are doing it.
Totally.
Like, no. That's not how things work. It's like,
we're going to solve this
if we put tariffs on everything, then we'll instantly have all the infrastructure to build all these things ourselves, and it wouldn't take decades to do that. It wouldn't ruin American lives for decades.
Did you even know what fucking tariffs were before Trump mentioned them 2 months ago?
Did he know what tariffs were?
Probably. I think he's been modeling himself after that one president who was the tariff king or whatever. But the guy who like turned his back on tariffs by the end of his presidency.
But yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah,
let's not
this
dive
one,
too deep into Trump specific.
This one specifically is the one that I felt the most like instantly like, man, people need to be engaging with art like this, because even though this one wasn't like my favorite or anything, I just think it was pretty solid, pretty great.
I think I had that reaction with. We'll talk.
I mean, actually, this is the one that like started that. I think because the first 2 I think people could watch. A lot of people be like, why would they kill off the kid? I don't get it. Yeah. What's the point of watching a sad movie? People ask me that all the fucking time. They're like, Lennon, why do you watch just sad things? I'm like, I don't know. Why do you not want to engage with art that doesn't make you feel things? Like, I want to feel things. I want to engage with things. Not everything has to make me happy all the time.
Right, that's boring.
Yeah, it's also like, what do you mean? Why do you not look at paintings? Do they not make you happy? Do they not make you sad? Like, we feel things through art. But did you see when Captain America threw his shield? Shut the fuck up!
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. See, where you're at now is where I was at like 2 years ago and why I retired from...
Oh, I've been there! I just keep pushing myself.
I haven't... I retire from watching like a lot of new movies, and I don't go out of my way to watch a lot of the old stuff that I should be watching. When I do watch movies, it's like I'm glad I'm watching shit like Dekalog and not sitting down to watch
Ginger Dead Man.
Ginger Dead Man's okay, but
and it's not like I don't. There's good movies being put out,
of course,
and people aren't watching them.
Yeah.
They're like, guys.
I mean, I can't. I guess I can't because I'm not going and watching them either. But
yeah, but if you were going to go see a movie, it'd more than likely be one that's at least.
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, after I started saying like no, because I feel like if you were taking a movie, you'd probably go with someone, and they'd probably want to see some dog shit.
Well, because I haven't even fucking seen Nosferatu. Like all these like big like movies that I should theoretically, but the one movie I do 100% plan on seeing this year is Superman. So it's like
I like how I'm talking shit about superhero movies, and then I'm like, but Superman.
Well, because
James Gunn has the ability to put an emotional core in his movies.
Yeah, no, he has this thing that's lacking called just a dash of media literacy to his work.
Yeah.
That and
I think we need to hire more ex-trauma writers.
I agree. But anyway, but also I think that like just in general, we need good Superman representation more than ever now. I need some hopium.
I've been getting pretty depressed lately with the state of the world. The last
me
not
too.
just during the Trump presidency, like the last year, since like Gaza started.
Yeah.
Since Israel's public genocide has started. I've just been so depressed, and it's just like I've gotten so into Superman, probably just because like he does represent the best in all of us. There's a reason
done by the right writer. Yes.
Yeah. The idea of Superman represents the best of all of us, and Superman is really, really good right now. Absolute Superman's incredible, but the main run is incredible.
Okay.
And it's just it's one of the things that's keeping me from crashing out.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, Superman definitely evokes that for me, but One Piece is like the big bread and butter. And they're both like the representation of like the sun and the dawn and shit. So it's like, yeah.
And with that, that's a good stopping point for Dekalog III.
Yes.
I do think while that was a tangent, it does tie into how I feel about that episode and how I feel about these moving forward.
Yeah.
I think that as like the ambiance might not be as good as like the first one, which I think is my favorite episode. It really starts throwing a curve at how interesting the character writing is, starting here. And the second one, I think. But the third one really hits it in a high gear. While the first one, like, they're pretty simple characters, and it's about the ambiance, about building up almost this world. Because I think it's also... I don't think we express it enough, but there's a certain amount of, like, cultural world building that things like this have to build up. Because, like, you're going to build this product, like movies, television, they're going to be seen all over the world. And in the future. Like, I don't think Poland in 2025 is the same as Poland in 1988. No. And I think that the first episode does a real good job of, like, kind of providing a context, a cultural context, a cultural touchstone to how things, the vibe.
Oh, for sure.
Even if it's a bleak vibe. And this one, I think, really starts to build up its characters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But that being said, on to the letter.
Honor thy father and thy mother. The sanctity of authority. The Kieślowskian theme. Family and social relationship as regulators of identity. So sometimes we might take the commandments a little too far. We might decide, maybe I want to honor thy father a little too much.
And honor thy mother too little. Yeah.
So this one is about a dad and a daughter. The daughter is of age.
That doesn't make this any better. Anyway.
I'll say that much.
Hold on. Let's not cut right into it. Why don't we do the build-up? Because this one actually had an interesting hook.
Yes.
Which is father's going away on like a vacation or a business trip or something, and he leaves behind he's like getting ready to go, and there's like a stack of paperwork on the desk, and the daughter's like kind of like looking through it while he's asleep, and finds a letter that says, "Do not open until my death." She's like,
I gotta open it.
what the fuck? So he leaves, but he leaves that letter, like, in a drawer.
And she's really looking at it.
Yeah.
She's like, looking at it.
So she finally opens it. It's another fucking letter.
And she's just like, should I open this? And then it cuts. And we don't actually know if she, like, opens the letter. But the dad arrives back, and she's there. And she, like, confronts him. And she's like, I opened the letter.
Yeah.
It said we weren't related.
Yeah.
It said that I'm not your daughter.
And he's like, I suspected this all along.
Yeah, but he said, I've never opened it. I don't know what it says, but I suspected this.
Mm-hmm. So then, he's upset. He, like, slaps her, and then he leaves. And then breaks some shit at the house. She comes back. And then, I guess let's get into the meat and potatoes of it now.
She tries to seduce him.
Yeah. She's like, well, we're not related. And I've kind of always just kind of had a thing for you. And
he's like, me too.
Me too, but society, so. No?
It's like.
Question mark?
I think that there is more nuance to this, and
well,
it is icky. Like, this episode is icky, but it's really fascinating.
No, yeah, this is one of the ones I was talking about where it's like this is the one where that was like maybe a tad over the fence for me because it's like obviously it is icky, but it's weird that it's like, all right, we're just introducing you to this fucking disgusting scenario, and you're just gonna fucking live in it, kind of get to understand, like, the normalcy from, like, their point of view, almost.
Well, and it's like, how many people do you think have had... Because I think a lot of Decalogue is about verbally expressing what we're feeling on the inside. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how many people do you think this has happened? Like, they have thought these thoughts kind of thing? Because I don't think, like... When you look at, like, kinks in general, like, incest fantasies, it's very popular. It's, like, you spend your whole life around people. Like, it's, I don't, it's yucky, but, like, it's not, I'm not going to say someone's morally wrong for having fantasies about something. Like, it's not,
I mean, obviously.
People can't dictate that. People can't dictate who they're attracted to. Yeah. It's just all about what we do with those, like, emotions and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, if you had the hots for your mom because, you grew up with her and, like, okay, did you have sex with your mom? And even then, okay, whatever, you're an adult. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, where it becomes weird is, like,
we're gonna have a baby. It's like,
no, because it's like,
this is weird because there's an age gap. Obviously.
Well, the age gap, the biggest red flag in this is obviously the fact that, like, regardless of whether they're biological or not, this dude fucking raised this girl.
And by himself.
And it's like, all right, obviously, like, they don't, like, I mean, they state some stuff he did as a kid where it's like, I don't know if that's normal. I don't have a daughter. If I was, like, rubbing her back, I don't know if I'd go under the shirt, but I don't know. Maybe that's normal. I don't fucking know.
The other thing about this is I do think that there is, like, a real pain in his eyes when he's, like, admitting these things. Like, he really doesn't want this. It seems like she genuinely kind of wants this to happen. She's like, whenever I've made love to someone, I've felt guilty because it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, when you're with a boy, I feel jealousy. Not just, like, the way that a dad feels about a daughter, like, getting with someone. It's like, I felt jealous. And he feels like it looks like he's in physical pain from saying that. Mm-hmm. And I'm also not going to blame her because she's young, like, she's impressionable, like...
Yeah. Well, the point I was trying to get to earlier is that... You're all good. It's all very stream of consciousness here. But, is that, like... Aside from, like, that one example that they listed, it's like, we don't really get a whole lot on their background, so we don't know if, like, he necessarily did anything, whether intentionally or not, to, like, groom her to feel that way, which... Assumingly, yes. I don't think you come to that conclusion. Typically, if there's not some sort of pattern of behavior that leads to that being maintained or developed enough, I mean, I'm sure,
or maybe not at all. Like maybe it's an idea that he was working so hard to provide a household that like she didn't connect with him. Like they didn't have that sort of relationship, so that now she feels a different way. Like I think there are multiple like pathways to this.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting that we don't get the whole story. We don't see them we get an hour snippet of this weird fucked up life.
Exactly.
And it's like wanting us to make judgments on characters, which is interesting too. But she really does try to like seduce him and sleep with him, and then he walks towards her as if we don't know what's gonna happen. He picks up the sweater she just took off and he puts it back around her, and they just like sit there for a bit, and then it cuts to the next day, and she sees him like leaving, and she runs out and she's like, "I lied."
Yeah.
The letter I forged. I saw her handwriting, and I made a new letter, and I didn't read the letter. So it's like, wow, they could just be related.
Yeah.
And she just really wanted us.
And they're like, well, let's burn the letter. Let's burn the real letter.
Because it's like, maybe it's best if we never know. Because obviously this happened last night because we did think this. So what if we knew this to be the case? So they burn the letter, and we see this remnants of the letter, and they start the exact same way, implying that it could have been the same thing. I really like this episode.
I'd say this is,
and I like this episode more as I'm talking about it. It's one of those, and I was like, what a weird episode.
We'll talk more about my specific favorites once we get through more of them. But yeah, this is definitely where it was picking up momentum for me and getting into more interesting territory. But
just read the top review of this on Letterboxd. Do you ever get the feeling that Woody Allen watched this episode and just decided right then that life should imitate art?
The whole time I was watching this episode, like from the reveal onwards, the Woody Allen was like the thing on my mind. It was just like, yep. He's the go-to example of that.
I think
at least nowadays.
I know we said we were going to talk about favorites later, but really thinking about it as we go, because I think that I gain more of an appreciation talking about these as we talk about them. But really thinking about this might be like the most riveting, like dialogue and character-wise for me.
Yeah,
it's just really fascinating. And that's the other thing is like I wish I had other friends that like wanted to engage with this level of art, because like
I was telling my
have
roommate
friends
the same
that like
thing.
movies, but it's just like not film, which is annoying to say, but it's just like
I know. I really wish that there was some sort of a different categorization, but it's like
cinema.
Yeah, cinema, avant-garde.
Which I have one friend, Lily, and she works with me, and after I watched The Human Condition, I think you've met her.
Yeah.
But she wanted to watch it, and she watched it, and it's like, that's wonderful. Because I do think, I recommend people things all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I genuinely try to recommend, like, sometimes they'll be weirder movies, but they're ones that I think they would connect with.
I do.
And I don't think people take me seriously. They're like, I'm just another weird foreign film from London.
I think I've done
just try it.
At least
like it.
At least with like my roommate and his friend group, I feel like I've maintained a pretty good job at tailoring stuff to where it's like, this has just enough meat on the bones for me to enjoy the watch along, and it's just punchy enough to where I think all of them can be into it as well.
You know, I love Pierre, and there's plenty of things that me and Pierre both like. Like, he loved Big Trouble in Little China.
That feels like
I really do like action movies, and I've been enjoying them more lately, especially like the 80s and 90s era. So like me, I can always just put on one of those, but like, there's just not a lot of things I can really connect with him emotionally with. Joe, he's just been working a lot, but like he'll try movies. Like Joe's really cool because he'll just try something. Like if I say, "Hey Joe, do you want to watch this with me?" and he had the time, he probably would. He's just so busy these days. So
yeah. And
if you were closer, we beat.
I miss Joe. I wish I could see him more.
Let's go egg his house after this. Yeah. Just gonna move up here. Screen Weens Empire.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going full hermit, at least for a couple of years.
No! Then we'll see each other even less time.
Well, not legit full hermit, but just meaning I have no roommates. Not until I find my SO.
Joe's right across the street. I don't know.
But he works so much.
True.
I'd never see him.
But, yeah. Dekalog IV, I think, is really, really fascinating.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Dekalog V?
Dekalog V. The murder.
Thou shalt not kill.
Yes.
The sanctity of life. And the Kieślowskian theme. Murder and punishment.
Yeah. All right. Minus the piss filter. I really like this one. I thought it was a super interesting approach to kind of have the first half focus on like an individual murder and then just
second
like
half on capital punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was a really great way to go about it. And I'm really interested to see, because you said that it was this one and the next one.
Yeah, so
they did feature-length versions.
Dekalog 5 and 6 were so Poland TV is, I think, the main like company that funded this project. But to do that, they're like, okay, well, feature-length films just make more money, and if you make 2 movies, we think we'll recoup everything. Which I think was smart. So he chose one of them, and then they chose one of them. Okay. They chose the Peeping Tom episode. I was like, okay. And he chose this one, which it seems like it would be reversed. It seems like they'd be like, yeah, a murder story would probably be the one that sells well. But 80s Poland's fascinating, apparently.
Yeah.
But they're both like an hour and 25, hour and 30 minutes. And I think it's just they filmed more things. I don't think they like remade them or anything. I think it's this plus more footage.
Yeah.
And then I know this one, they edit it differently, I believe.
Okay.
I think this one has a lot of narration in this episode. Or like when they jump back to... Yeah, I don't think that's there. I think it might be present later on, like in a chunk.
Okay, I was going to say that... Because I wasn't really a big fan of that.
I was really interested in it. I think I overall was a fan of it by the end of it, because I think having those snippets of that character was interesting, because he...
Eventually, when he did enter the story, it was like, okay, but like, yeah, there was a large chunk of time where it was just doing that Dekalog thing where I'm like,
who is this? What's going on? Yeah.
What the fuck's happening here?
I thought like 3 of the characters were the same character when we watched. This is the only one she watched with me, because I'm like, I think the murder one will probably be the one she connects with. Hinate is also one. Some things, some more artistic endeavors, she'll love to watch with me, and some of them are like, this is boring. This is one of those projects that she probably thought she was boring.
Fucking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Satan Tango is something that she would never watch. It's 7 hours long.
I don't think many, or obviously a lot of people would, but you gotta have that cinema dog in
It's so funny because I'm also on the cusp of being in like groups of people that I also find to be excruciating to be around, that are too into cinema. Or like too into a certain type of cinema. Like Bellatar heads.
Oh.
I'm like, guys, we can like multiple things. It's like the people on Letterboxd that you go to their Letterboxd and they're like, yep, I've logged 20,000 movies. And I've given 2 5 stars. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't... 20,000? You don't like movies if you... Or like the curve where it starts like this.
It's like you're looking for the...
You're just looking to...
The Nietzsche Superman of movies where it's like the perfect specimen.
It's like, I liked it. 2 stars. I'm like, what do you mean?
I mean, I can't... Obviously, I can't critique on it.
But you're not that bad.
No, but that was more or less... my version, or my old critiquing style is definitely a diet version of that. And now I've just gone full Farmer Thanos out in the fun. Just like, what... I watch movies every so often.
Yeah. I'm still watching so many movies.
I have a fucking drive full of movies I downloaded in like November that's like full of like great cinema, and I watched this thing.
The other thing is, maybe it's because it's kind of hard to sit down and watch great cinema sometimes, because I'm just like,
no,
it's TikTok. TikTok's ruined me.
No, the thing, it's super fucking easy, but it's like starting the apple. It's just like I can't get myself to sit down and start the fucking movie. But once I actually do, then it's like,
I think it mostly is because I feel respect for the art form, and I'm like, well, I have to be in a good mood. I have to be in the right headspace to watch this because I want to pay 100% attention to it. I mean, it's like, yeah, I could just throw on a Tubi original and be on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can put on the new full moon. They keep using AI, and it's just like, obviously Charles Band would do that, but I was like, do I even want to watch Full Moon anymore? Because I'm just like, I'm pretty staunchly opposed to AI in most things. At my job, we just stopped carrying all the games of a company because they're using AI in like 2 of their new games. And I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. Like, I think, especially as AI is becoming harder and harder to see.
Yeah.
Like, I think artists are cool and good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with like some AI. Obviously, the big no is the like generative shit that obviously just steals.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like there's the big news lately that people have been dogging on is The Brutalist. I don't know if you've heard of this movie by Brady Corbett. It's with Adrian Brody.
I've seen it around.
It's winning a bunch of awards. It's in the Oscar race. I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet, but it was revealed that there was AI used on his voice later on. But it was a specific program called Respeecher where the editor of the movie put in his own voice to slightly change the like accent of Brody, which is weird. I don't understand it, but like it's not like he's training it on something. Obviously AI without permission is the problem.
Well, yeah.
The idea that AI is ruining the environment with how much like it's just clogging up like things. But like that seems fine to me. Or like Dune uses AI to change the color of people's eyes. Like they made a program. I think that the problem is that people are trying to they don't understand something completely and they just start dogging on it. And I do think that AI in general, most of it right now that in its form are bad. Like
yes,
ChatGPT is bad. Like it steals, like these things are stealing from artists and real answers and real people and just throwing up worse versions of it.
Not to mention just the overall trajectory of that AI plays not only within the AI conundrum itself, but also just like the big tech problem we are facing right now and the network states that are incoming probably.
And I saw someone being like, "What? Why does the AI get to paint a picture while I clean the toilet? Why can't the AI clean the toilet while I paint a picture?"
I saw that.
It's like exactly like was
careful. AI might get you if you start talking too much about it. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, probably shouldn't go on a big AI rant.
I'm going to go on a lot of rants today. I'm angry today.
I mean, I get it. I'm angry all the time.
Speaking of AI, AI piss filter? No. I kind of like the piss filter on this. Or at least I got used to it.
Yeah, I got more used to it. The first couple minutes, it was like really bad.
I was like, what the
The point where it was hard to see and it hurt my eyes.
I think that's what I liked about it. I felt like it was so abrasive, but in like a almost like I think it was intentional to be this abrasive because you're following this killer who's just a bad person. He's like, I'm gonna throw a rock down here. I'm gonna yell at this kid. I'm like, he's just constantly doing.
Even the guy he murders is a piece of shit.
Yeah. The lawyer I think might be the only like good guy in this.
Yeah.
And even then he's like, but yeah, the guy he murders eventually is a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
Taxis? What? He's a taxi driver who's like, yeah, he's like looking at a little girl. Like
he's looking at a little girl. He's like a woman walking dogs next to his taxi.
He just starts honking. He's like, ah!
Yeah, he like ditches a guy who needs a ride badly. Like he's just a scumbag. Yeah. But still, like, holy fuck, that murder scene was brutal. Yeah. I was a fan in the sense that I thought it was, like, really effective and stuck with me, like that whole end sequence where he's like dragging him down and the dude's just like muttering, gurgling out, just like the money, the chest, my wife. And it's like, at that point, it's like, shit, now I feel bad for this guy. I didn't realize he had this piece of shit had a wife. It's like, you felt bad for him before too, because this guy's just murdering. I mean, he gives his like reason, like the darkness seed was planted in him back that day when he explains his backstory later on. But like, at the point where he murders the guy, we're just meant to like assume that it's like, this is just like, because he just needs to take it to that next level, right? His degeneracy. So he's like, I'm gonna just murder a guy and steal his car, and like, but he's struggling to do it. Like, it's like he's committed to it, but he's like struggling to fully commit to it to where he can do it effectively and quickly, because he's like,
because he does, when he does do it, it takes a long time.
He starts strangling the guy and he's like, I can't do it this way. So then he like ties the guy to the fucking car rest, and then he like,
so he can't get out. He's just choking, and he goes out and he just starts hitting him.
Yeah, starts hitting him in the head, and then it's like, that, you think he's done there, and it's like, no, not quite, because then he has to fucking bash him in the rock. And then at that point I was like, all right, are we gonna go into like, he's on the run or whatever? And then it's like, nope, just hard cut. They got him. They got him. And he is getting the sentence.
Yeah. It cuts to after the trial, too. Like, the lawyer we've been following, it just cuts to after him. And the lawyer's like, do you think I could have done anything better? Like, and the guy's like, no, you did whatever you could do. The guy was just a murderer who, like, had a bunch of evidence against him. But he's also like, I don't think you should be a lawyer. Like, the judge is like, I think you're too good of a person to be a lawyer.
Gee, I wonder if that speaks.
And then it cuts to like the death row pretty much, and he had asked him to come. The killer had asked the lawyer to come and been like, hey, when you get my personal effects back, can you go do this? And earlier he had taken a old picture of his little sister who died when she was really young, and he had gotten it and tried to get it enlarged, and he's like, can you go pick it up and give it to my mom or whatever?
Yeah.
And then he's just brutally murdered by the state while the lawyer watches in horror.
Yeah.
And then he goes out to his car and he just starts like screaming. What did the subtitles say for you? Did it? Because when I was watching it, it just said, I hate you, which is not what the line I like was reading. I'm like,
yeah, I've got a different set.
It said, I abhor it, is what the line was supposed to be.
Yeah, that was.
And I'm just like, this cannot be right. Like, who's he saying this to? And I know they're like similar words, but I'm just like, who did these?
Yeah, I think I got the one with the better subtitles, because I noticed when we were watching the last two, there would be like moments where it'd be like,
just slight
paragraph subtitle. It'd be like,
yeah,
what?
Which I'm gonna get the Blu-ray of Dekalog. I just couldn't get it in time because I decided to watch this like really late. I'm like, yep, we had a month to watch this, or two. We had a long time to watch this. And I waited pretty far. You did the same thing. We watched the last two together because of that.
Yeah, so it's like, the wheel goes around. You know, it's like I always tell myself, it's like, I'm gonna watch this one early, but then I get afraid. It's like, if I watch it too early and then we wait a while to record, then it's gonna be like, I'm gonna forget everything. It's low-key kind of how I feel about Rin right now. I remember Rin pretty well. It's just I'd have to look at the names and stuff. And
I finished Ring 2 months ago, so I'm gonna need to
it's
read a little.
It's probably been like 3 weeks to a month when I finished it. So it's like, but I really like this one. Like I said, I liked that they did that through the lens of this capital punishment as well. I thought that was a great route to take, because it's like,
apparently capital punishment was like a pretty hot issue at the time in Poland, like right then as well.
Oh, okay. Should be a hot issue at all times. But
what are your thoughts
on capital punishment? Honestly, like, if, let's say, like, clean cut scenario, like, they catch, like, school shooter red-handed and he doesn't, like, fucking off himself, or they don't shoot him down first. You know, they take them through the process, and they decide, yeah, this guy is like bad, but ultimately it's like, statistically speaking, it's like there's so many wrong convictions. I just don't think the process of killing even the most abhorrent people is worth any amount of innocent lives. So
that's fair. I agree, and I also don't think that the state should have that power. Like that.
Yeah, because I don't.
Like if
ultimately I don't have faith in the state. I mean, there might be states that are more worthy of my faith in the future, but no system is,
infallible.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually they're going to deteriorate with time and cycle, and the wheel spins around, Yeah. Those on the bottom go to the top, and those on the top go to the bottom. But yeah. So, yeah. That's why I'm a big fan of personal punishment. No, I'm just kidding. Vigilante murder. No. But
all right. Depends. The next one, titled Peeping Thomas.
I actually called this one The Stalker. Even though I found it cute. The subtitles I had, it's like, I don't know if they have like stalk as a term over there, so they just kept translating. It's like, I've been spying on you. It's like, yeah, you're such a spy. But yeah. So this one is about, of course, your sin.
Yeah. So this one is thou shalt not commit adultery. And I was like, what are you doing? I think that a lot of these have
I agree. There are like four. There are like two, at least two other ones that I would more overtly think adultery for than this one. Yeah. Like the taxi driver one, or the second to last one, obviously. Yeah. Which is also just fucking adultery, because that's what that fucking commandment is.
And then Kieślowskian theme is the nature and relation of love and passion. Anyway, this is about a little guy. He's 19 years old. He works at the postal office. Mm-hmm. He has a problem.
Yes.
Outside his window, across the building, the next building over, beautiful woman. He can't stop using a telescope to look in her window.
Yes. Apparently, he is living with his friend's mom. He used to live with a friend, and they both used to spy on her. And he, went off to war or something. And so then he just kept looking at her, and eventually just became completely infatuated with her. Full-on stalks her, calls her. She has, a guy over, and he, calls, a fake gas leak. And he's, fucking with her.
And he's like...
Meanwhile, she's just struggling in her day-to-day life, and he's adding stress. There's a scene where, literally after the gas leak and her boyfriend leaves, she literally, goes over and, fucking, grips her head and is, trembling, and it's like...
And you're going...
Oh, I love her so much. Yeah, totally healthy. And he's, getting extra jobs.
Just so he can be... I'm the milkman now.
Yeah, he's just okay, dude. Literal, just fucking stalker nightmare. And that's but, yeah, eventually he just decides,
he tells her.
After crossing a line and almost getting in trouble at work because of his activities, because he's, giving her, fake money orders.
Yeah. But he tells her, and then they get on the phone after she's like, don't talk to me. And then she, that night, she's like, because she assumes he's still, talking, looking at her.
Yeah. And
then they start, a weird, sex fantasy thing where he's, watching her. She's like, I'll move the bed for you. Mm-hmm. I do think that this is also, peeping and being peeped on is another, common kink. So,
Yeah.
And I don't even think, obviously you're invading someone's privacy, but, if you're just looking through a window, that's fine. When you pull out a fucking telescope or a binocular, that's when I'm just like, okay, we might be stepping over. I mean, if someone, also, she kept the windows open. It's she has no blinds.
Yeah. No, that's...
And the lights are on.
That was the big thing where it's okay. I mean, obviously I don't condone, even, let's say fucking Joe is, fucking just
Jacking it? Is he
jacking it naked with his windows open. You got your windows open, you know.
I'd
Even if
pull
you're
up a
not
chair.
using a fucking
Oh,
telescope.
no,
If you're
that's then it's okay. Yeah, I'd pull up a telescope.
Yeah. But it's like obviously like you realize
There
when
are
it's, like,
levels,
you're-
and she likes like she does. It seems like she likes it after a while. Like she's intrigued by it at least.
Yes, she also becomes weirdly infatuated with the idea over a stretch of time. But yeah, basically, so she tells her boyfriend because she's like, "This is gonna be funny," and then he like goes over.
He goes and he beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, which
and
I
then
like.
he punches him once.
Yeah, I like because he like goes to the party. He's like, "Come
like,
down
"Come
here,
on."
you coward!"
And then he just wanders out.
He's like,
There's
"Oh shit!"
better do that.
It's just like this tiny little kid. He's like,
Hey man. He's like, oh, you been looking at my girlfriend?
"Don't do it again." But yeah, basically, they go out on a date, and it's like they just hash out and like just develop. And it's like, "How long you been stalking me?" "Oh, like over a year." She's like, he's like, "Oh, you know, I used to love a guy. I don't believe in love. That's her big thing." She's like, "Love doesn't exist. It's not real." It's like, "I love you." "Nah, you don't." He's like, "Did you ever love?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's this like Australian guy I might have potentially loved, but it didn't work out, so I guess not." He's like, "Wait, Australia?" He like reaches out and he's got like a bundle of her mail. He's like, "Oh, here you go. I intercepted some of your mail," and it's just like so casual. It's just like, what the fuck?
And he had it with him.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, that's just some of the shit I love from this one, where it's just like, you're really just living in it. And it's just like this weird ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so weird, but it's so interesting just to explore, you know? And this one might have been my favorite, just because I feel like it did the best job at that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them made me tear up later, so maybe that one will be my favorite.
10.
Yeah, 10.
He sold his kidney for a stamp.
The stamp mafia wouldn't let these poor boys.
But then she takes him home and she's like, he's a virgin, and she makes him come in his pants like instantly. And he's like, "Was that fun?" And then he runs away.
That's your love. That's
then,
what it is. That's what it amounts to.
And then he feels so bad, that post-nut clarity, that he just slits his wrists and tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
And he goes to the hospital for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and she's like trying.
She feels quite bad.
Yeah, she feels bad. I mean, she felt bad even before she knew he slit his wrists.
Yeah.
So she's like trying to get in contact with him, but the old lady he lives with is just like, No, he's not back yet. No. And so she's eventually goes to the post office and sees that he's back. And she just walks in and he's like, kind of just looks at her and is just like, I don't spy on you anymore. It's like, go figure. Well, yeah. It's like, what an interesting little reversal there.
I won't peep on you anymore.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah,
well,
excellent. Another excellent addition to
fucking
the continuing catalog of the Decalogue.
Indeed. But yeah, I really like that one. Let's see, what's the next one?
Teen pregnancy.
Yes, the kidnapping.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thou
I wrote 5 for 5 and 6, so that's why I was looking very confused. I was like, where's 6? Did I forget to write one down?
All right, number 7. Thou shalt not steal. The sanctity of dominion. Kieślowskian theme. Possession is a human need and temptation.
Mm-hmm.
So, this one has a pedophile in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that's why I was like, at the very least, they were both adults when we were talking about the...
4 had a soft pedophile in it, so I mean, like...
So yeah, this one has lady, I think her name's Micah. It's Majka, so I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Probably not Machka, so it's probably Micah. They said it multiple times, but it's been so long that I just... Sometimes it's with subtitled things, even though I hear it and I, like, process it. Later when I'm thinking about it, I can't, like, recall the pronunciation. I can only recall the written word.
Yeah, I feel
But Micah has a daughter named Anya, but Anya has been raised by Eva, I think, which is Micah's mother, because Micah was 16 when she got pregnant, and she got pregnant from a high school teacher.
Yep.
Who, was her high school teacher. She was seduced by him, and then her mother took her baby as her own.
It was basically.
It's like, oh, this is what we need to do, and then the teacher just went away.
Yeah,
didn't get in trouble. He just went away.
I think he divorced, but more or less
he builds teddy bears now.
Yeah,
which is also creepy.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh, teddy bears. That's kind of a fun little occupation. It was like, maybe not for pedophile, but
well, as long as I guess he doesn't come in direct contact or put any fucking cameras or anything in him.
Yeah. But Micah's convinced that, like, her mother pretty much stole the baby from her. Like, she stole her childhood because she doesn't feel like she had a good childhood from her. She sees how her mother treats her daughter, and she's, like, jealous of that almost, because she's like, I wasn't treated that way.
Yeah.
So she thinks she was stolen, like, had her childhood stolen. She thinks she had her motherhood stolen, and now she's literally has stolen her daughter. So she kidnaps her and is deciding, I have the documentation that says that she's my baby. I'm gonna take this passport and we're gonna flee the country. And the whole time is just her slowly trying to, like, get to the train station or get help. She goes and sees, I don't think his name's Marco, but the pedophile man.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is your daughter. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he slowly warms up to her, but then I'm like, I don't want this. Go away. And the mother is just constantly trying to find her. And she's like, no one will believe you. This one's really sad.
Yeah, this is the one that made me tear up at the end. Where it was like, oh shit. I wasn't expecting to feel anything through the majority of this one, but that ending kind of got me.
Because, like, I do think, teen pregnancy is not great, and it's it can cause a lot of problems with young parents, but at the same time, robbing someone of their motherhood is also not good. So it's like, it's really hard to root for someone in a lot of this, except you're rooting for the best thing for the child, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for the child. Like,
yeah, it's like, all right, clearly it's like, this is not a good radical quick change for the child in succession.
And obviously I want Micah to be happy because she was abused, and
there needs to be that balance where it's like honestly, like, obviously not exactly what the I'm gonna call her the grandmother just for the hierarchy here, but what the grandmother was trying to suggest, which is like, she can stay with you on the weekends, stay with me most of the week, and after I die, you get her. It's like, obviously, it's like, all right, that last part's kind of moot because she's probably going to be a full-grown adult.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? You look like you're like 45.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't think that's how that would work, but yeah, I think that you guys just need to should have had that conversation about who her real mother is with her earlier, because there's a whole line where it's like, you're old, you can comprehend stuff, right? And she's like, yeah. Like, are you kidnapping me right now? And it's like, I'm your real mom.
And there's a really sad scene where it's like, call me mom, and she's like, Micah. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that scene was just like, hard to watch. That secondhand cringe and sadness, and it's just like, oh fuck, jeez. But yeah, it's just like, and it's like the whole time I'm like, oh man, it's like, this little girl's probably not gonna want anything to do with you, like, ever again. But then it all comes to a head. She leaves Marco, or the pedophile guy, and then goes to the train station, and Marco guy's like, gets a hold of her parents, and they all congeal there, and it's like, the grandma, like, comes in and gets the granddaughter, who's ecstatic to see her and jumps, like, right into her arms. And so the daughter just, like, or the mother is like, all right, and then just immediately just hops on a train and gets the fuck out, and the little girl chases after her, and the grandmother's just like, "You're my daughter. Like, come on, man. Come back." And it's just like, yeah, that was a sad ending. I felt that. And there's like, obviously dark nuggets, like their relationship is fucked. And the one thing that truly shook me to my core, aside from like obviously the pedophile stuff, was like that one part where she's talking about like, one time I came home and I saw my grandmother like breastfeeding her, or my mother breastfeeding Anya, and it's like, you didn't have anything. It's like, what the fuck? That's weird. That's some like fucking Freudian level shit there. Like, that's just strange, but yeah, it's, I don't know. This is a whole fucked up dysfunctional family.
Also, it's like, obviously, how can you trust your mother, like, to raise your daughter when, like, you just helped sweep under the rug the fact that I was seduced by an adult when I was a child.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
You enabled that. How, like, what?
Although, to be fair, I don't know if those wires are necessarily connecting in her brain as a problem.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I agree with that point. It's like, maybe that father should speak up a little more. Make his opinion a little more heard around the house. But, I don't know. Yeah. That one's sad. These are all sad.
Yeah.
I was like, because, yeah, you were talking about, you've been feeling down. I have also been feeling down, and this has been real chicken noodle soup for the soul. Dekalog. Like, binge watching this, and I'm just like, in my recliner at home, just
everyone's life sucks.
Just like, wow. Well, at least it's not that bad for me right now, I guess. Not yet. But, yeah, anyway. The Professor.
The Professor, which is, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Fault witness?
False witness. Fault witness. Kieślowskian theme. The difficulties of truth among desperate evil.
Which one is it? Oh, yeah.
This is mostly an hour-long conversation.
Yeah.
Between a woman and another woman, older professor woman. She's probably like 60 or something, 65. She's older.
Yeah, I think she say she was like 22 at the time.
At the time, which would have been
40 years later, so she's like 60 something. Yeah.
And a younger woman who's about 40, 42.
She'd be like,
because I think she was 6 when it happened. So.
Yeah, like 46.
46, yeah. And something had happened in their life where in Poland, she's a Jewish woman. She was a little Jewish girl, and she needed to be taken in, right? Taken in by a family or helped by a family?
She needed to be, to my understanding, she needed to be taken in by a family so they could assist in, like, the overall escape. But, because they were going to, like, hand her off to a different party. But, like, in order to make this happen, they had the stipulation of, like, she needs to, like, convert to Catholicism. Which is like, alright, sure enough. But then they, like, used the loophole of, like, well, that would be, like, bearing false witness. Because, like, we all know that you guys would just be saying it. Like, it wouldn't be real. It's just like, that was the excuse when at the time, but the whole time she's baffled by it, and so she goes, the whole thing like happens because she goes to this professor's class, and she's like
an ethics professor.
Yeah. So she poses that anecdote out loud for the class in front of the professor, and the professor is like shook, and like the class is like ethically pondering, like, what possible reason would she have to even do this? And, fear, perhaps? Mm-hmm. It's like they kind of ponder on it, and she's like, well, that's your assignment, to try and figure out this woman's reasoning, why she turned this family away. and basically sent them out to their certain deaths, like right at curfew, because they last minute changed their mind. So they kind of talk about that, and it's like, all right, the elephant in the room. They both know what's up, and so they kind of like go and talk to each other, and then they revisit the apartments where that all happened, and they talk more about it and flesh it out. And according to the older woman, the reason why she turned her away is because there was like I guess rumors had just hit the scene that like Gestapo were sending out like basically like fake leads or like families that would basically be traps for sympathizers. But the thing I think is like super interesting though is like just that dynamic. I almost wish they talked about it and fleshed it out like a bit more, because it's like the dynamic of like, oh, like you did this awful thing to me, you turned me away, like you basically sent me, a little girl, to like die knowingly, but then you like had a change of heart and went on to like say like a real Oscar Schindler kind of thing, where it's like you went on to like save so many people later on.
It's like, why wasn't I worth it? Like, why?
Yeah, and it's like just having to process all of that and come to terms with it, and the whole thing ends because she's like, well, can you take me to the people that you're gonna like take me to who would have saved me? And she's like, I can try, but I can't guarantee, because I haven't like I've seen them like twice since the war. You know, you're like, all right, what's the whole time I'm waiting for the shoe to drop on this one. I'm like, what fucked up thing is gonna happen? Thankfully, it wasn't too bad compared to some of the other ones, but she goes and talks to the guy who's a tailor now, and she's like, I want to talk to you. You, at one point, were gonna like save my life during the war. And he's like, I don't want to talk about the war. I don't want to talk about it after the war. I don't want to talk about it now. I can make you a coat. Real nice coat. And she's like, you really don't want to talk about it? And he's like, no. So she respects it, and she's like, all right, bye. And then leaves out and goes out and talks to the old lady again, and it seems like they've kind of struck up a nice little friendship.
And you see him like look out the window, like
kind of longingly.
Yeah, also almost like there was a moment that maybe he did want to talk, and he just felt like he couldn't. Like it was too many bad memories.
Yeah.
But you know, makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It's just like, oh man. But yeah, I like this one.
I really like that exchange between the two. There's like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah, that was definitely like the big moment for me as well. That or the lecture scene where she initially starts telling the story. Yeah,
I think that this one is maybe the slowest, just because it is all dialogue pretty much, and not a lot of bits to break up that dialogue. But yeah, I still really enjoy.
Same.
Is one I want to rewatch, because like I feel like I need to give this one more attention to because of that reason. But I thought it was another solid one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I didn't name these last two, but I'm gonna call the next one The Cheater. The Cheater. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
True. Okay, so this is, classic Polish, classic Eastern European thing where people love cheating on each other and they won't talk about it.
Yeah.
So this guy is impotent. His dick will not get hard, and he's really sad about it. Makes sense. Like that's scary. Like that's a thing that's like your body not listening to you is sad. But he's like, I won't begrudge you if you take on a lover or if you already have. She's like, no, I haven't. But she does it like really half-heartedly kind of thing. Because she has.
Yes.
And then she's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Because she doesn't want to reveal that she has a lover. So then he just starts wiretapping the phone. He gets like really obsessed with it. Yeah. Even though he had said that. And it's like, if they just sat down and had an adult conversation, they could probably come up with something. Yeah. But
sperm bank, maybe? Do they not have those over there?
Because they're like, oh, well, I mean, if it's just a fucking, if she just needs to be fucked, that's fine.
Plus, I mean, yeah. I'm sure it probably is. I'm sure that's why she had the lover in the first place. But it was him who brought in the idea of, like, maybe it's time we have a baby. Maybe you should get a lover. It's like,
I think it was mostly that he wanted to have a baby because it would distract him from the fact that, like, it would give him more to do, and then
it would also probably serve to anchor her down to him. But yes.
But they're like, no, we're not that progressive. I'm just gonna say you can take a lover and then be really mad about it.
Yes.
But Shio's also not being honest. They're just lying to each other. And it's like, as much as I think this one is also sad, I also think this is kind of funny, just the way they're going about things. I'm like, what are you guys doing? He's like, I'm gonna wiretap the phone. I'm gonna make an extra key. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, but he catches her, and then she, like, sees him as they're, like, talking, and they have a big heart-to-heart, and she's like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm sorry. She breaks up with the young, virile young man.
Yes.
And she's like, you can trust me. I wouldn't ever, like, take you for granted again. I promise. And then she's like, we should go out, or you should go on a vacation, and I can start the adoption for a child. And we just need to, somebody needs to take a break. And he's like, no, you should take the break, and I'll do that. So she does. She goes, like, skiing, and then he sees the guy, like, the lover.
The hot rod.
Yeah. He sees him with skis on his car about to, like, drive up. He's like, what? And he calls the guy's, like, house, and his mom's there or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, he went there. And he's like, that's where my wife went. So he writes a suicide letter and tries to kill himself. Because he assumes that his wife is then lied to him again.
And I gotta say, that the way he tries to kill himself, low-key kind of funny.
He's just riding his bicycle and he just rides it off a little bridge.
Yeah,
and it looks like he falls like 5 feet.
Yeah.
I think it's more, but the way they shot it, it looks like he fell down a little hill.
I think it's meant to be implied to be more, but I think wherever they shot it, it was probably just 5 feet. So they were just trying their best to not show a super good shot of it, but it still managed to look. Maybe not. Maybe if I rewatch it and look really closely, I'll be like, oh, that's actually like a 10-foot drop. But and if you land on your head, yeah, it's gonna fuck you up. But I just something about that suicide attempt just made me chuckle. I'm a terrible person. Anyway.
And then she's been trying to, like, reach home and trying to reach him, and she gets back and she sees the suicide letter. But then she gets a call and he's in the hospital. But he's alive!
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, you're okay? She's like, yep, I am. And then it cuts to black.
As he's sitting there in full body.
I'm fine.
Yep.
Just got a little bike accident. I forgot where the steering wheel was.
Yeah. It's like, you thought we weren't having sex before. I can't move my hips at all.
I like this one as well.
Yeah.
It's another solid one, I think.
Yeah, this one probably falls into, like, the all right category. Like,
I might need to rewatch this one as well, or I might think about it more and then be like, maybe I do like that more.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's pretty fresh.
Yeah,
we watched it like 3 hours ago, so.
But yes, we're both sundowning.
All right, Dekalog X.
Yes.
Dekalog X.
What all of this has been building up to. Stamp Mafia.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods.
Yes.
Kieślowskian theme. Greed in relationships. So this, as we've mentioned, is tonally much different. This is more of a black comedy than anything else. I think there are funny moments in, like, the last one we watched and stuff. But this one
depending
is
on
like,
your sense of humor, there might be funny moments in all of them.
Yeah,
but
for me, this is like, I do think this was legitimately funny because it's just like, these two guys, their dad dies, and they find a stamp collection.
Yeah,
and they're suddenly just have tons of power, like, thrusted upon them because they figure out that the stamps are worth millions of dollars. So they're like, what do we do?
But their dad also owed, like, a shit ton, like, $200,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, to someone, and he owed, like, other people, And, like, everyone knows about this stamp collection, too.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, God, we gotta... Because they're like, they get to the house, they're like, why the fuck is there so much security in this apartment? Because there's, like, extra deadbolts, and there's, like, an alarm system, and he's barred all the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, like, start adding to it. They're like, we're gonna get a guard dog, and we're gonna...
Yeah.
Well, I changed the locks and stuff, and... It's just like these misadventures of these two like brothers that are out of their depth because they don't know anything about stamps.
Yeah.
And the only guy that they were talking to is like their enemy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you stole stamps from us. We stole them back. We're good. You want to help us? And then he gets them, jumping to the end, he gets them to go into kidney surgery to get a kidney for his daughter. While that's happening, he's stealing the stamps.
Yes, and they all, like, I don't know.
And then they think it's the other brother, and they're like telling the police, the investigators, like, I think it's my brother. And the other one's like, I think it's my brother. And then they both see on the street that guy that stole from them with the same type of dog.
Yeah, they all have the same fucking dog.
And they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, we've been bamboozled.
Yeah. And they're like, I thought it was you. And then they're both like, I got some more stamps. And they both had gone to the grocery store and bought the same set of like $40 stamps or some shit.
Yep.
And then they just laugh and it ends.
Yep.
I thought this was actually kind of hilarious. And thinking about it, I think it's more funny. Like, just the circumstances are just so stupid.
No,
and they're just like, I need the money. And then they lose everything.
No.
And they're like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, this one's really good. I just find it so weird that it's the cap to this entire fucking series. It's such a strange tonal shift for the last one to make. It's like you're watching just a shit ton of really sad shit, and then it's like you get this like fucking Dumb and Dumber-esque duo of brothers, fucking like Dumb and Dumber X or Uncut Gems. It's just like, what the fuck? It's good though. This low key might be one of my favorites just because it's very funny. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm trying to figure out if they I don't know why he picked this for the last. I guess it is a weird spot to put it at. Like,
well, it seems like he was mostly going with the general Ten Commandment order. This is the last commandment, so I guess this is like the way the cards fell. But it's like, yeah, I might have even done backwards or something, like maybe 10-1.
But also, this would be just so weird going into this and then the next one. It's just like...
True. No matter which end it's on, this needs to be somewhere in like...
I also just think it's really funny that Kieślowski was like, let's do a funny one now. After like...
I think the best move would have been just to have this be the penultimate episode and swap the last two. They're both the same fucking commandment anyway.
Okay, before another sad one, let's do a funny one. Everybody ready for the funny one?
Yeah. And I was like, maybe then afterwards you're like, is the last one going to be sad
I almost
or
wish
funny?
there was like fucking slapstick comedy in this one.
Yeah, like I kind of wish there was like a scene where it's like fucking like one of the brothers just gets like comedically the shit beaten out of him or something.
I think that's so because like he gets the dog and then he's like, why is the dog barking so much? He's like, oh, I put him in the room. I was like, why isn't he in the room with you? And he's like, oh, I'm scared of him too.
Yeah.
It's like they're both just scared of their own dog.
Until at the end when it's like, once they realize it's like, that dog's just chilling.
Yeah.
The one brother's like, shut up! It's like, kind of just like walks in. Shut up! It's just like, okay. But yeah, it's a funny one. Like I said,
also it made me feel a little better too. Like as much as like it is a sucky, like it's sad in the sense of like this greed immediately overwhelmed them. The same greed that seemingly took their father, because their father's like, they keep talking about how like, yeah, our father like didn't really spend any time with us and he just spent all his money on his fucking stamps.
Yeah.
And then they immediately fall for that same greed. And it seems like they're genuinely better at the end when they start laughing. It's like maybe they're better off without all this idea.
Yeah,
especially so they won't be targeted by the stamp mafia.
Yeah, it's like you guys just. I would have just taken that deal up front. Where like, yeah, it's worth a lot of money, but also there's a lot of fucking just thumb breakers out there after you. It's like, it's just like, all right, yeah, just take it. I don't fucking.
Maybe
like
let's
stamps.
just fuck off. Yeah.
Just take the fucking stamps. I don't care. Yeah, you're fucking rich anyway. Just don't kill me, please. It seemed like they were doing fine. The one brother's a rock star. The other guy seems like he's wearing like a shirt and tie the whole fucking thing. He's probably got money. But yeah, Dekalog.
Yeah, there are themes in here that I am out of my element to really talk about, like the God figure or the Wanderer. Like I
just assumed he was God because he always showed up and it's like the 10 Commandments, and there's the one part where it's like they're telling the lecture in episode 8, and they say specifically like, you will not bear false witness in front of God, and he like right when they say that, that's when he makes like the direct eye contact with the camera. So it's like, all right, if I had already figured out that he was meant to be at least that's the way I'm interpreting it. Maybe he stands for each sub thing, but I don't know. And the fact that he doesn't show up in all of them is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And it seems like no, because he shows up in the 8, which isn't like super dark. Because it felt like he was always appearing like right before like the point of no return. Because it's like the points where I do remember
he should have been in 10, and he should have been the doctor taking out the kidney.
Yeah. But because I remember he was the ice homeless guy, and I remember in the murder one, when he gets in the taxi, they pass by him and he's riding a bike. The one, there's another one where he's like in like a jail or an office, and he's like downstairs carrying like a ladder, and he like passes by like a stairwell. I ripped up my list. My fidgety hands.
Apparently he was supposed to be in 7. Apparently the only one he wasn't supposed to be in was 10. But there were just like technical difficulties in 7, and they had to like cut the scene, or like they couldn't get him.
Okay. Interesting.
In 5, in the one, he's holding a measuring pole, and then as a different construction worker carrying a ladder.
Okay. I see. But yeah, so it's like he would pop up all the time. It's like, oh yeah, it's that same actor.
Yeah, he observes in the main characters at key moments and never intervenes. Also, milk.
Yeah, get into this milk shit.
Yeah, I literally Wikipedia. I need to research more of this because now I'm fascinated. But it just says milk is a recurring element, and I'm like, okay, because it's in 7 of the episodes, like when she tries to breastfeed them, and I think Wojtek is the guy's actual name. Yeah, but the pedophile. Yeah, he tells Micah that Anya needs a house with milk.
Yeah, and the Peeping Tom one, he's the milk boy, and she like plays in spilt milk. Yep. And, yeah, because I know milk is like, I saw a YouTube thumbnail for a video. I didn't watch it, but it's like, why do the villains all drink milk? And it's like, I don't know, probably because it's like a symbol for life, and they're like life drinkers. I don't fucking know. Probably something involving that. The life's blood.
But yeah, it feels like there are themes in here that would probably take another watch or two of each episode to really understand.
Probably some theology exploration, at least knowing some general stuff. I know super broad strokes, little stories that I find more specifically appealing. Not like a super well-versed Bible guy, because I don't give a fuck. I'm not religious. If I was to lean any one religion way, it'd probably be more into like Buddhism. So it's like,
but Yeah, but even from what I gathered and my first watch of this, I loved Decalogue. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really solid. I think that if I were to revisit this throughout the years, I think it's one of those that will grow in quality each time. Because I really think they're all so dense.
Yeah.
And I would like the Blu-ray because I know there's a bunch of, like, the Criterion has a bunch of, like, essays and other things.
Of course.
Because I like to peer into the mind of an artist. And I think as I watch more of Krzysztof Kieślowski, his movies, I think that I'll gain more of an appreciation for this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to rate, like, the series overall, do you know?
Probably like a 9 at this point.
I think I'm sitting there too.
Yeah.
I think I have pretty much all of them, like, rated by myself, but I think they're all between like an 8 and a 10 for me. Like I thought they were all pretty much at least an 8.
There might be a couple I'd probably give like a 7, but yeah, for the most part they're like 8s or 9s or 10s.
I wish we had this kind of quality. Like, it feels like, yeah, here's this random Polish miniseries that looks insane.
Yeah.
And is more thematically dense than the last 100 movies I've watched.
To be entirely fair, this is technically television, and I will say, well, obviously not all television. I'd say you're probably more likely to find good substantive, like, stuff you would traditionally find in good movies. On TV nowadays, just in the longer form.
I don't believe it.
I know. The thing that sucks about it is that they all have to stretch their 2-hour movie story or like 3-hour movie story into a like 10-hour fucking
Or you can
season.
just 10 1-hour films. Because I think a single one of these films is probably more thematically dense than most movies.
To be honest, low key, I love the 1-hour movie.
Me too. I think I'm actually fine with pretty much any length of movie. I think any length can be justified. I'm fine with Sutton Tongo. I think it does something with those 7 hours.
But I just get so giddy when it's like I'm watching a movie. I'm like, it's only an hour long.
Yeah. Oh, I should introduce you to this company called Full Moon.
No,
their movies feel like they're 7 hours, but they're only 1 hour. It's like a fun magic trick.
45 minutes half the time.
Yeah.
It's like, been here forever.
I'm watching this on 2 times speed and it's 45 minutes and it's been 4 hours.
Legit.
But your least favorite was the Doctor one.
Yeah.
And then your favorites were Peeping Tom, is that what you said? Or
the Peeping Tom or honestly that last one. The more we talked about it,
I'm like, that was so fun.
Was so fun.
Yeah, I think the more and more we talk about it, the 4th one might be my favorite.
That one.
The incest one.
The letter, yeah.
It's just so fascinating and so well structured.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And I really like that first one. I think that first one's phenomenal.
That first one's good as well. That one, like, when I first watched it, I was like, that was pretty good. But I feel like retroactively, it just, I feel like others surpassed it a lot for me. So, like, but it's not like at the bottom or anything. So,
yeah, Dekalog. You should watch it if you have the time.
Seriously.
Also, like, you can just watch it over 10, like, they're hour longs, and then you can sit on them.
Yeah, you probably should watch it that way.
Yeah, don't do what we did.
Yeah,
I did 3, 3, 2, and 2.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, I did a similar.
Which is funny because, like, I watch 3-hour movies like all the time. Like, I was like, yeah, I can handle 3 and like still get it. But I'm like, they're so dense that I'm just like,
it's like
probably a mistake.
Yeah, maybe.
But all right, Thomas. I don't think we have questions. I think Pierre forgot. I just checked. Let me double check one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty devastating. Yeah, the last questions we had were about the soup that makes you blind.
Wouldn't drink it.
No. Okay, what are we watching next week, Thomas?
All right, so we're going a bit more camp, a little sci-fi. We're gonna watch the classic Planet of the Apes movies.
Boom.
There are 5 of them.
Boom. What are they called? Do you know them?
There is Planet of the Apes.
Good job.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Good job.
Escape from Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Conquest for Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
and fuck, I don't remember what that fifth one's called.
Battle
for the Planet of the Apes.
And then you said you really liked the first one and the fourth one, Conquest?
Those are the two really good ones.
And you hate Beneath.
Beneath is dog shit, yeah. It's kind of funny dog shit. It's really weird. It's so strange.
Sounds
all
like...
the decisions they made in that movie. And like I said, the big plot thread in that, the really weird thing in that one, they're setting up in like the new movies.
Did you see the new one? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brockamus Caesar.
Yes.
He went to ape school.
He did. He learned about the Roman Empire.
I don't know. I mean, the actor like went to a school that taught him how to like move.
I thought you were talking about just William H.
I kept
Macy
seeing,
reading them.
No, I kept seeing like behind the scenes where he was just like, "Yeah, I went to ape school. Look what I can do." And he would just walk, "I am Proximus Caesar," and it was awesome.
Nice.
Was Kevin Durand, I think. He's awesome.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I was kind of middling on that movie. I thought it was like fun.
I thought it was mostly fine, but there were a couple things where it's like, you guys really missed out on some. They killed like the best fucking character like 10 minutes after he was introduced. Not to spoil too much about that one, but we're not talking.
I think that movie looks great, at least. Like, it looks phenomenal, and like Proximus Caesar was really cool, even if he wasn't in the movie. And William H. Macy was cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for all that it's set up. I'm hoping that the next one really gets the momentum going, but we shall see. But I assume we don't want to cover the Tim Burton one as well, right?
I mean, if you want to, I'm fine with that, but
I'm kind of either or.
I loved it as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, it's the only one I saw as a kid, so.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? They're pretty short movies. I think they're all like 90 minutes. Well, I don't know what the Tim Burton one. That one might be two hours, but
the original's 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
And the Tim Burton one's 2 hours.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like all of them after that are like an hour and 35, hour and 40. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Just so you know, I might as well make this apparent now before I bring it up. I forgot to mention, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Has 2 versions.
Okay. Is one really good and one really bad?
They're both mostly the same.
Okay.
One's got more violence in it that was cut down, and it's also got... They're like pretty close to being the same ending, but they have like vastly different implications. So just watch both endings.
Okay.
It takes like 30, like an additional like 2 minutes on. It's kind of like watching Little Shop minus you don't have like the extra 20 minutes of the director's cut. It's like if they just had a little bit more.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah.
Sounds good.
And yeah, plus it's Roddy McDowall. You're gonna see Peter Vincent where you originally started as a monkey, because he plays in like all of them.
Oh.
Except for the second one. They like replaced.
That's why you hate that one.
Low key, it might be a contributing factor. But like I said, you'll watch that one and they just make so many decisions where it's like, why did you what? This? What? Like 10 different things where it's like, why did you do this? What were you thinking?
Sounds great. Sounds like a great time. All right, I'm
yeah.
excited.
But yeah.
All right, sweet. We'll see you guys next time on another episode of Screw